Welcome back to the podcast. Now, in today's episode, I am here to remind you that you are brilliant and to remind you that we need you to be you. I am also going to remind you of one of my favorite quotes that says to stop comparing your backstage area to everyone else's front of house, because all of this is actually related. Because you might find as you hear me say to you, oh, you're brilliant and wonderful and amazing. If you're anything like most people, including myself, you will feel some resistance to that. Because let's be honest, there are times in the day, and probably more than one time in the day, when you don't feel particularly brilliant. Now, whether that is when the alarm goes off and you have to drag your frame out of bed, and maybe you stayed up too late the night before and you're just like, ah. Or maybe it's in the middle of the day and you spill your coffee. Or if you're me, you get grumpy with one of your children, or the list could go on and on. There are lots and lots of examples of times when we are not brilliant and when we don't get it right and when we really get it quite wrong. But the way that our brains are wired is, and I don't know, I need to do more research into this. I don't know why it's so much easier for us to remember the negative than the positive. But this happens in sales stuff as well. Think about it. If you go out for a meal, for example, and you have a bad customer service experience, you'll probably tell loads of people. If you're anything like most people, you will talk about that experience. The research shows us that as humans, we are less likely to talk about the really good experiences we have. I mean, I do like to sing the praises of people when you have good customer service, mostly because I know the human instinct is not to do that. And so therefore I try and counterbalance it a little bit. But for whatever reason, we are hardwired to pay more attention to the negative. It's very easy. We maybe do a bit of planning and you make yourself a list and you check, on to the next thing. And maybe some of those things you're checking off are really incredible. And yet we just rush on to the next thing without allowing ourselves to pause and really celebrate what it is that we've achieved. And so I wanted to take an episode of the podcast just to remind you that you are brilliant. Even if you feel resistance to me saying that, you are brilliant. And so, one of my bugbears of social media is that it's really easy. We see everybody else's front of house. To tie that back in with the quote that I shared with you, we see everybody else's front of house and everybody else has got this life thing nailed. They're showing up, they're doing the thing. They don't have days where they've got massive bags under their eyes and when they eat 3 Kit Kats. Everybody else is so much more together than you and I are. When the reality is everybody filters. Even when people are being authentic, and yeah, there's air quotes around that. I hate that word so much. Because there has been this new wave online of showing people the real behind the scenes stuff. But even when we show behind the scenes stuff, we're still filtering it. And, I on a Friday, I send out, it's called Notes from Behind the Mic. So I send a behind the scenes email to the people who are signed up for that, which incidentally, if you're not signed up for that and you think you'd like it, you can go to faithandbusinessplayground.com/listen, go right down to the very bottom of that page. And there is a space where you can sign up for my Friday notes from behind the mic. And so the stuff that I share in that little email on a Friday is pretty transparent. And, I sometimes share some of the ponderings that go on in my head, because I've made a very conscious choice to actually walk my talk and show everything in a bid to try and counteract some of this illusion that we have of the nonsense that's going on. But even I will filter stuff. So I'll give you a classic example. 2 or 3 weeks ago, I recorded a video for my ladies in the League of Brilliance, and it was proper, okay, this is where my head is at, thinking out loud, moving forward, next steps type stuff. And I recorded it and I shared the link, and then I went back and I deleted the link because it felt too much too soon. You know how sometimes it's easier to process stuff and then share it afterwards. So then I deleted the link, and then about 5 or 10 seconds later, I caught myself and I went back and I shared the link and I told them I deleted this link and then put it back again because I wasn't sure if maybe this was too much to share. It wasn't too much to share. It was a great thing to share. But, so even people like me, who I am very conscious of wanting to be open and transparent about stuff, we still all filter. So the next time you feel yourself falling down the rabbit hole of comparisonitis and thinking, oh no, there's nothing brilliant about me, I'm stop it. All right? You are brilliant and wonderful, and we need you to be you. And that is the whole focus of this week's episodes, of course, is reminding you that you need to be you. There's that Oscar Wilde quote, be you, everyone else is taken. And we're all made up of the same basic DNA, but how we show up in the world is vastly different from one person to the next. Thank goodness for that. Can you imagine if everybody was the same? It'd be completely bonkers. But I wanted to take at least one episode to give voice and acknowledge that filtering does go on, but just to remind you, even when you don't think that you are brilliant, you're still brilliant, and we need you to be you. Okay, now tomorrow we're going to be digging into some practical things that you can do to let your little weirdo out to play. So if you're somebody who struggles with this, I would encourage you to come back tomorrow. That'll be episode 131. faithandbusinessplayground.com/FAB131 is where you can listen to that tomorrow. Or you can subscribe. That word is hard to say. If you're not already subscribed, you can subscribe. Or if you want to get the notes from behind the mic on a Friday, I will also include a link to that episode in there. Anyway, in the meantime, as ever, thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. And I look forward to catching up with you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.